ahead on Daytime Buffalo, fresh from the Traitors Castle, Ron Funches joins us in our studio ahead of his stand-up shows at Helium this weekend. And later, get ready for the big game with some brews from the best craft beer destination in Depew. It's all coming up right now on Daytime Buffalo. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to Daytime Buffalo. I'm your host, Chelsea Lavelle. Well, you might recognize my first guest today from his roles in New Girl, Loot on Apple TV, or most recently from his time on Season 4 of The Traitors. Please welcome Ron Funches ahead of his show at Helium Comedy Club. Welcome to Daytime Buffalo, Ron.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming to the show yesterday.
I did. I came out last night, had a little girls' night, and you were a hoot and a holler.
I appreciate it. I like that you don't just talk about it, you get out in the community.
I get out. I go. I went to go see because I really enjoyed watching you on The Traitors. We're going to get into that in a minute. But first, I want you to give our viewers some background about you and how you got started in comedy and kind of some of your greatest experiences so far.
Sure. I've just been a fan of stand-up since I was a little kid. Never thought it was a real job, and then had a kid of my own. So I was like, I need to find a job.
Right.
And then I found out that my son was special needs and on the autism spectrum, and I was like, I need a career.
Right.
And I was young enough and dumb enough to believe that stand-up could provide for me and my son. And turns out I was right.
You were right. Apparently you weren't dumb. Apparently you just believed in yourself.
I believe in myself a lot, and it's led me to great things, working with a lot of great people like Dave Chappelle or Maya Rudolph on Loot, which has been a beautiful experience for me. So those have been some of the highlights. And now I got to do a lot of voice acting. I got to be in Inside Out 2, and one of the trolls in the Troll franchise. So I have a beautiful, fun life, thanks to my beautiful, fun, weird little voice.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, Traitors is the latest show that really helped catapult you in another level of popularity. So what was it like being on that show?
It was crazy.
I know.
It was full. It's just wild. You're locked in there in a castle all day long with a bunch of wild people like Michael Rappaport and Real Housewives, and they're not sane.
They are not, and that's what makes it so fun.
It is. So I think for a lot of people, I became like the voice of the audience. Of
It's true.
Being a regular person, just trying to play the game and being surrounded by a bunch of weird narcissists.
Okay. No, we've got to get into the Traitors of it all. You had a rough start.
Yes.
Because you were kind of the leader that helped get my girl Portia kicked off the show.
Yes, I did.
But I do have to say, I did have your back because I know you didn't know Portia, and so you didn't understand her personality, and she misspeaks a lot. That's kind of her thing.
Well, she kept saying things like, I'm a traitor.
Right.
So I was like, she must be.
Right, which makes sense, but she, you know, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the show, she wasn't a traitor.
Wasn't.
And then the target was on your back.
Yeah, because they loved her so much.
But at the same time, they started to fall in love with you.
Eventually.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the cycle of my life.
Right, right.
People misjudge me, and then they realize how sweet and lovely and wonderful I am. And by then, I hate them, so I'm like, get out of here.
So you're like over it. There was one person you had a special relationship with. It was actually someone that seems like an unlikely pairing for you. It was Rob from Love Island.
Yes, I could not imagine that. A boy from the south side of Chicago went all the way to the Scottish Highlands and made best friends with a 22-year-old from Alabama.
Right.
I did not see that coming. But he is one of the sweetest, kindest, just well-rounded men. And I love that, you know, people saw him on Love Island as just this kind of brooding hot guy. And now people get to see how smart he is and how kind he is and how sweet he is. And
Are you still friends with him?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, I love that. Now, you weren't friends with everybody.
No.
And I did come to your show last night, and you mentioned a cast member on the show, but you didn't call her by her first name, Dorinda. You referred to her as Dorito. So let's get into that, because you guys have had some animosity towards each other that seems like it has lasted off of the show. Kind of explain to me where the contention started for you two.
There's just something. You go to a job, you don't like all your coworkers, you know, and there's just levels of respect that I expect at a base level to work with someone, and she didn't provide that. And so I can't let that slide inside or outside the game. So I think people who know her character and seen her know that that's how she is as a person, and she tries to put on a fake persona. And I don't like fake personas, so I'm here to cut it.
Cut it. It seems like you've got a lot to say when the reunion comes up. Are you ready?
Wait. Next week. I'm excited. We tape it next week. It'll be out February 26th. I can't wait to see them.
I'm really excited for that too. Now, I have to ask you something kind of off the cusp here, very random. You mentioned in your show Missy Elliott followed you on Twitter.
She did.
And she used to like your stuff?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I know.
Isn't that so cool?
I loved it every time. She's such a legend.
And you still got rid of that.
I had to get it off of it. It was just too toxic for me, you know. And even at the base level, or best thing would be I put out a joke. People wouldn't be like, oh, that's a great joke from you, Ron. People just steal your joke and then just try to take credit themselves. So I learned that that wasn't the best place for me to put my art out.
Okay, that is fair. Something else from the internet that I learned about you is your recent diagnosis of autism. You mentioned that your son has special needs and also is autistic. Did you always have an idea of something being different about you?
No, I just thought I was a fun, sweet little chubby weirdo. That's all I ever thought about myself. And it's been beautiful to learn this and get into it because my son was diagnosed when he was 2. And I always consider myself more of a caretaker, more of an ally. And my own diagnosis has allowed me to kind of just embrace it and jump in the pool with him and just be like, I'm not separated from you. We're the same and we're both trying to navigate this together. And I've been getting such beautiful messages from strangers, and actually just got a phone call from a friend of mine who said that me being so open about it made her go get tested and find out that she is also on the spectrum. So
I love that.
It's turned out to be a beautiful thing for me.
It absolutely has, and I think it's also showing people, neurodivergent, neurotypical people, of what everyone is capable, right? You had such a successful career, and now to come out and say this has been part of your journey has been really beautiful, but also really helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's good for all people to see that, you know, just someone isn't so extroverted or reacts to a situation that the way that you think is typical doesn't mean that they're not engaged, doesn't mean that they're not involved, doesn't mean that they're not valid. And I think I learned a lot of that from being on the show, where, you know, the way that people responded to me, and to have this outpouring has just been beautiful.
I love it. Alrighty, let's get into your show at Helium. Like I said, you had the show last night and you have more shows throughout the weekend. Tell us what our viewers can expect if they haven't seen you before.
Oh, well, first of all, you'll get about 10 minutes of me talking trash about everyone on the Traitors real hard.
And we loved it. We loved it. We were eating that.
And then it just transitions into my normal act, which is me talking about my life, talking about my family, whatever I'm going through at any time is what I usually bring on stage in a fun, sweet, little weird way that no one else can do. So I hope people like it.
Where can people go to get tickets and see the performances?
They can go to ronfunches.com for sure. I imagine that Helium Buffalo has a website as well.
I love that. Also something random, but I'm interested to know, because I love some cookies, and you talked about that in your set. What is your favorite crumble cookie?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think a lot of their cookies are hit and miss, you know?
Okay.
You know?
He's not looking for a sponsorship from Crumble.
No, but I actually really like their Tres Leches cake that they do.
I love
When
it.
they get into the little cakes and stuff, they don't miss. They don't miss on those. But the cookies sometimes be dry.
Okay. You want something sweet, just like you.
Sweet and moist, like me.
Alrighty, Ron, it's been lovely talking to you. I had a great time at your show last night. Viewers, if you want to find showtime information and get your tickets today, you can visit buffalo.heliumcomedy.com.
I knew they had a website.
I knew it. Thanks again for coming in, Ron.
Thank you.